surrounding property owner, or someone else. So I'll start with Walt Tracy.
Hi, I'm Walt Tracy. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Urban Next. We're the nonprofit school operator and who's part of the applicant.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I see we have Trey Sheldon here from the planning department. Welcome, Trey.
Good morning, everybody.
Also have Bill Luxon here.
Yes, morning. I represent Block. I am the Director of Business Operations. We're the owner of the building.
Okay, great. Welcome. Bill, do you intend on providing any testimony here today?
Only if needed.
Okay, great. And Matt Ramar or Ramar?
Remar. Yep.
Okay. And could you tell me who you're representing here today, or who you're here on behalf of?
Yeah, I'm KBA Architects. I've submitted all the drawings and applications and worked as the applicant.
Okay, great. Welcome. Are we expecting anyone else to join us here today on the applicant owner side?
I'm the only one from the owner.
Correct. No,
Okay.
I do not.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started then. I need to read through our hearing script. This will just cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we'll begin. So this is the December 4th, 2024 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. Again, my name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner. The case before us today is case number ZH20240141. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. For our purposes here today, I'll allow each of the three of you to tell me about the project, background you think is important, the zoning relief that you're requesting, and then of course why you think I should grant that relief. If we did have anyone here from the public, they would have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. I will give the planning department an opportunity to provide any testimony in addition to their staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond to that testimony offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. Okay, the last thing we need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, the zoning code requires that I swear you in. So if that's you, if you could raise your right hand and answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
You do?
Yes.
I do. Okay,
I do.
Great. All right, thank you. All right, who's going to be taking the lead here on the presentation?
I can go ahead. I mean, as I said, I was the applicant. I worked with Walt on this project. As you know, it's an existing building that Block Ministry uses, and it sounds like Walt is with Urban Next that does education services or a full curriculum of education to students in the neighborhood, and they offer a religious based education as well, on top of all the other normal curriculum that the state of Ohio Department of Education would require. So that's the reason we're looking to put a few classrooms, or I would say have some classrooms classified as classrooms in this building and get that e-use as a change of use. So that's really the whole premise of this submission.
Sure. So the existing use of the building is for educational purposes? Is that what you're?
No, the existing use is actually assembly, and they kind of use it as a whole community center. They have actually some after school stuff. They do a lot of things for the local neighborhood. I believe they even have a food pantry, stuff like that. Bill or Walt could probably expand more on what Block Industries provides in that building.
Okay.
Bill may be able to. I can speak more to the school side if that's helpful. So if you're familiar with the concept of a micro school, that's what we do. We operate a grade 7 to 12 micro school And so we just need, again, the classroom space that Matt has identified there at the building. Typically, again, that runs, up to about most 45 students in that space. As Matt said, it's a lot of it is digital curriculum driven. So it's students working on individual learning plans, again, in a classroom setting, grades 7 to 12. And we're qualified by the part of why we need this is that we've qualified other sites under the Ohio Ed Choice Scholarship Program, and so we're basically looking to do the same here.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's currently a community center micro school. There's an educational component to a lot of the services that are offered, but you are transitioning into a formal licensed
School.
educational facility.
Yeah,
School.
from
Okay.
like you said, from
Got it.
what was it, 8 to 2:30 in the Monday through Friday?
Yes,
Correct.
right.
Okay, great. And yeah, could you tell me a little bit more about the size, the anticipated enrollment, and hours and that sort of thing?
Sure. On the plans I submitted, Urban Next is looking to lease approximately 1,600 square feet, which is about 3 existing rooms that Block Ministry has in the building already. Based on the Ohio Building Code, they can put a maximum of 81 students in these 3 rooms, but as Walt alluded earlier, usually their enrollment doesn't really go that high. It'd be kind of half of that amount. So I imagine, I don't know, Walt, you could probably expand on how many educators you would have for staff on that.
Yeah. That's right. So again, our model typically runs up to a max of about 45 students and that kind of in about a 1,600-foot space. As Matt said, we operate that at a 15-to-1 ratio. So that would include then 3 what we call coaches, but are classically teachers, if you will, or a combination of 2 teachers and a teaching aide. But it would be 3 staff people on site with the students.
And the reason I just point that out is just to point out that obviously, if you look at the neighborhood, there's not much parking for this building, so they would have pretty minimal full-time staff there. So we might work something out. Parking, I don't think would be too drastically affected by these employee members.
Yeah, typically, again, we'll see when, as we're there, but, our experience is most of our students are either getting CPS transportation or public transportation. Again, it's grade 7 to 12. So I think most of the high schoolers actually are public transportation. Some of them will do a parent drop off, but again, most of them are coming through public or CPS transportation.
Okay, got it. So a total of 3 classrooms, and each classroom accommodates approximately 15 students. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it'll be a little. I think 2 of them are bigger, so one of them
Yeah.
will probably operate more as an office space. But so I think more about the 2 20-person, 2 20-person rooms with some office space.
Okay,
Let's see.
so
I have a floor plan. I don't know if I can share my screen if you wanted to see the classrooms.
It's also, sorry to interrupt, Matt.
Oh.
It's in my staff report too, David.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I did
I
the
floor
can
plan.
see it. I can see
All
it.
right.
Yeah, I'm just the reason we're here is that a school use in a single family residential neighborhood is prohibited, and so I'm trying to just get an idea of the impact on the residential district and number of students, enrollment, drop off, things like that, and hours of operation are things to consider when I'm making my decision. So I'm just trying to ballpark how many students we're talking here. It sounds like anywhere from uh, 40 to 70 students enrolled at any time, and then a staff
Probably
of
not.
10 or
Like I
less.
say, more. Again, I would say 45 is going to be the peak in that space. So
Okay. Got it. And I'm sorry, I think I missed the hours, but is it 7 to 3? Is that what you said?
8 typically runs. Students come between 8 and 8:30 and leave between 1:30 and 2 typically.
Okay. Right. Anything else you wanted to tell me about the project or why you think this is appropriate for the neighborhood?
I just think Walt's doing a great thing with the Urban Next. I think, where was the other location that we did?
Yeah,
Walt?
so we're partners with a New Prospect Baptist Church
That's
in
it.
Roselawn,
Yeah.
where we have again a very similar model
Right.
set up there. We've got classroom space in their building. Yeah, so that's what makes us a little unique. You know, I know sometimes when you hear school and you think of hundreds of kids and all of that, it gets a little scary. Again, that's why I make the point. You know, ours is specifically a micro school approach, and so small number of kids. Part of it is to have a safe and respectful environment in that sense. And as Matt said, we're able to do that as a Christians. So we offer that as a Christian school, typically in underserved communities. So.
And I think that fits well with what Block Ministry has established there. How long have you guys been there, Bill?
26 years.
So now that, and I don't think you probably have a lot of things going on during the actual Monday through Friday daytime in that building.
No, we have it just various community events or organizations might be in there for a couple hours.
Sure.
In some of the different rooms. So we've got plenty of space. That is not an issue.
Right. So I just think it provides, Block Ministries another, aspect to this community that, hey, we've got now a micro school here to offer you in this neighborhood that, typically is pretty empty during those periods of the week. So we just feel like it's a real good fit between these two companies that are trying to do something great for this neighborhood.
Yeah, and that's what we do is looked at like we did with New Prospect. Block's another great example. Just partner with someone who's already ministering and would love to extend their outreach in the community. And again, a school's a great way to do that.
Okay. Great. I think I'll turn it over to the planning department now. Trey, anything you wanted to add here?
Just that this appears to have been probably used as a full congregation and school in the past. Just based upon the layout, I discussed this somewhat with Mr. Raymar. There's a gymnasium already built into it. To the left, I have that on my staff report as well, you can see not only the floor plan, but a street view shot of the building. And Block uses that currently, I believe, primarily for a food pantry program, which is accessory to their assembly use, and certain other programs that they've operational programs that they've run out of that floor. And so I suspect that this is essentially returning part of that use to what it was used for in the past, with the gymnasium and the other. There's, I think, even a commercial kitchen set up there and so on. So you would have had sort of a gymnasium cafeteria kind of thing already going on, much in the past. So I don't think there was very little change in that regard to even the floor plans at all. They're just kind of spruced the place up a little bit, and they'll be taking occupancy in these what were probably classrooms some years back. And as Mr. Tracy pointed out, and Mr. Rimar and I discussed, probably one of them, the smaller room, might probably used for like staff office where they can, talk and go about their curriculum things. And then I think most of the teaching will take place in the two larger rooms. I just note that there aren't really any exterior modifications going on here. There's no outdoor play area. These aren't little kids running around screaming during the day. Any kind of exercise would take place in the gymnasium there, which is all interior. And other than the fact that there may be some queuing with some cars drop off by parents, I did note that there's parking along the street there and on the side street. Also, the side street, I think it's Van Y, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to, sorry, fumbling on that one. Try to remember the side street immediately there.
No. I know it.
Yeah, or something. No, it's Van Vey. Sorry, Van Vey. Yeah. Anyhow, my apologies for that. I was trying to find it in my staff report. I knew it was in there somewhere. There's a side street, David Van Vey, where you could do parking along there. And I will note that on the on the east side, or I mean, sorry, the north side of Van Vey is actually a commercial community automobile district. And you're looking at the back of a big Kroger's there, really. I mean, so as far as impacting people at that intersection, I don't think there'll be, as much impact as there potentially would be from a Kroger's with loading and unloading and things of that nature going on early morning hours for supplying the Kroger's with trucks and such coming and going. So that was the only even minor concern that I had at all, was just to the drop off. They've indicated that a limited number of students for this, not your typical larger school. And they anticipate, from what I understand, it didn't really come up here, but Mr. Remar indicated in his application and in discussion with me that they believe that quite a few of the students will come from the surrounding neighborhood.
Yeah.
So you may even have, I guess Mr. Tracy's
Right,
confirming that.
Walkable. Yeah, I should have had that. Yeah.
That was my understanding, that a lot of
Yes.
these youngsters will be walking, and some of them may be taking the metro, which runs through there anyhow. And to the extent that anyone is coming from a far-flung area, I guess the parents would either bring them, or they could end up with one of those smaller Cincinnati public school,
Right.
like the CPS bus, not a full-on yellow bus, but there's like van things, I think, that drop students off where they're many miles away from the district. So other than that, that's what I that's how I assessed it. That I didn't think it would be a really significant that would be any really big significant adverse effect on the neighborhood in that regard. It's the limited number of students. You've got a commercial district right across Van Vey, fairly busy street here. And room for parking on both sides. So I don't think you're going to create any traffic jams and queuing up. And again, I think that this probably a school use, and both the church and associated ministries, projects, outreach, and the school seem to have pre-existed, like been built into this building, basically, with the gymnasium. And so this is just bringing back probably a use that was happening decades ago, and was, with the school was, did I have it constructed in, it was close to 100 years. It was around,
1900. Yeah,
yeah,
124 years.
Yeah, 124 years. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to find that in my staff report again, but I did put that in there. And this is a use that predates, sort of this use in the neighborhood, and a fixture in the neighborhood predates most of the, almost all of the dwellings probably that are in that neighborhood. So this church may have been the cornerstone of that neighborhood at the time. So that's just my recommended finding on that. Just having kind of done a drive around and Google Street View, and also realizing the Kroger's over there. And that's essentially it. That was my only concern at all. And I did kind of, pay attention to that in my staff report and in perusing the neighborhood. And I just don't see they have enough room on both sides of Van Vey there to drop kids off, that I don't think it's going to create a big traffic problem.
Okay. Thanks, Trey.
You're welcome.
Anything in closing or otherwise from anyone before we adjourn here today?
No,
Thank you
nothing
for
from
the
me.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yep.
We look forward to obviously, if you have any further questions for us, we're very transparent about what we're doing and everything. And so look forward to hearing the next steps.
Thanks.
Indeed.
Okay, well, I think we can leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials and the staff report, and based on that, and based on the testimony that I've heard here today, I am going to approve the project. I need to formalize that approval in a written decision. I mentioned at the beginning that typically takes about 2 weeks. I'll do everything I can to get that out to you as soon as possible. Timelines are getting a little tight here with the holidays coming up, and so please, what I do is I put it into a PDF as soon as I finish it, and I email it to everybody in the hearing here once it's complete. And so you all have a copy of it really moments after it's done, but feel free to reach out to me if you haven't heard from me in a couple of weeks, and check on a status update with that. But yeah, is there any questions about that or anything else in the process?
No, I mean, I'll reach out to my plan reviewer too. He wanted to make sure I had the proper lock. So there's kind of a simultaneous approval with what you have to do yet, and then just the final with the building department. to get
Okay.
the change of use approval. So.
Great. Well, thank you all again for your time, your testimony. Good luck with the project, and we're adjourned.